Welcome to another episode of Talks with Dorks, episode 23. From the team, you've got myself, Ryan, of course, Mr. Tony of Bingus is joining us. Tony, what's up?
What's up, guys? You right?
And of course, today we've got a very special guest, another guest all the way stateside. Please welcome a new friend to the podcast, AJ Slambino. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did.
Nailed it. I was
Nailed
meant
it.
to ask.
Yeah.
AJ, thank you for joining the podcast. Thank you for jumping on. And thank you for being here, man.
Oh, thank you guys. I'm ready to talk. Let's talk.
Let's talk. Let's talk.
Phone, though. See?
And for the professional.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Riverside does not cover accidental damage.
I was just testing you guys, testing your editing skills. So.
Yeah. It's all right. Luckily, I'm doing this one. I won't leave it to Woody, another one on the team. So, AJ, obviously, we wanted to get you on here because, and I really did, I thought I was taking a shot in the dark when I commented on your live feed last week.
Right.
I was like, he just followed me back. I'm like, he may unfollow me with this question, but I'll give it a try. And less than a week later, here we are.
See what happens when you just ask? You just shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. It worked. And I'm going to do it because Tony, literally just before you joined us, Tony used the word towards me, fanboy. I am going to fanboy for a second because when it comes to lockdown, when the pandemic happened and TikTok took over, I literally said to the boys the other day, what's really cool, these guys agreed to it, is after I followed all my regular people on TikTok, The Rock, as I always follow first, a couple of, wrestlers, couple of celebs, you were the first content creator I came across during lockdown and followed. Wow. So when you first started doing your journey of the British foods and all that, you were the first person I followed as a content creator. So this is quite cool for me. So fanboy moment over, but thank you.
So look, I'm gonna fanboy because that's really cool. Like I didn't know that, so I'm fanboying that you even thought to follow me first. That's that's super cool. So I appreciate that.
Oh, Tony, what about you? How do you know AJ?
I didn't follow you as quick. I didn't follow you as quick. Do you know what? I can't place when I started following you. But yeah, it was because you had flipped something that was quite a trend for creators. Is rather than British people trying American food, it was you trying our food, and I could relate to that and understand because I know what our food tastes like. So hearing a review from that side of the pond was quite interesting. And then you found out you are also a wrestler, which was a big mark out moment for me.
Yes,
yeah.
Cool. That's cool. Well, I appreciate that.
I do have a question though. I just want to get it. Yeah, I just want to get this
Let's go.
out in the open right now. So, wait, we haven't got you on this podcast just to discuss this, but so look, ages ago, you was on a live. Me and you was sort of having small chit chat, live chat as you do. I got a follow from you, and I was like, yeah, sick. And then a couple of weeks down the line, I went to message you, and I was like, oh, he's unfollowed me. So I just sat in the corner and ate shit.
So I will tell you this. I never unfollow anyone that, it wasn't me. So TikTok is notorious for unfollowing people for you. And the reason I know this is because there was a point earlier this year where I would gain followers. It would say you've gained 100 followers in the last hour, but my total number would go down 100. So I reached out to TikTok and I said, hey, I'm not understanding what's happening here because so they didn't get back to me that day. So I went to start to look at, let me see if it unfollowed me. So creators that I follow said I didn't follow them anymore. And I was like, so I started messaging people and saying, hey, I never unfollowed you, so I don't even know how this happened, but I'm following you back. They would message me back and go, holy crap, it says I don't follow you either, but I never unfollowed you. So I took all this information, I took screenshots, people were sending me messages, and I sent it to TikTok. And I was like, there is a glitch because I know I didn't unfollow them and they didn't unfollow me. My numbers aren't going up; they're going down. But it says I'm gaining followers. Uh, Within like 3 days, the glitch fixed. But you have to go back and refollow people. So I didn't unfollow you, but now I have to go back and follow you. I didn't know that it
That's
happened. See?
mate, look, it's all in jest. Like I was hoping it was something like that because I never said anything that you would have found insulting, and if you did, like, damn. But you know,
I've never unfollowed anyone ever, like
and do you
ever.
know what? I've realised the same thing. Where yeah, exactly that. You go to your list and you're like, where's that guy who does those videos about da da da? And you're searching. Cool. No, I get that, man. And no hard feelings. Welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Wait, what's your name on TikTok so I can remember to follow? Is it the same as here or no?
Tony of Bingus, the 90s.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't unfollow you, so I hope that you can sleep tonight now. I hope that, everything gets back to normal in your life.
Tony didn't even want to bring it up originally, but I think it's been lingering because he was
hilarious.
like, for the one time in my life, I didn't offend anybody.
Yeah, I don't get offended ever. So and I when I tell you, I've never unfollowed anyone. If I follow you, and I never go back. Like I don't even know who has time to go back and unfollow people like that.
I do only like if I go through. Sometimes I have a little look on people who. You just have a feeling people aren't following you no more, and you have a look,
Right.
and you go, they've unfollowed me. Why? Well, okay, I'm going to unfollow you. That's the only time. Sometimes I have this thing where I have to you just feel like, why do I follow this person has unfollowed me? And you look and you see it.
Well, so I'll tell you this: there is someone. I'm not going to name who they are. They're a really big creator, and we were friends before they were a big creator. Then they got to a big creator, and I saw they had somebody tagged me, and I was like, they don't follow me anymore. Oh, now that they hit 2 million, so I did unfollow them. But recently, as of like a month ago, they were like, I never unfollowed you, and I was like, oh, it was the TikTok thing. So they
Same
followed me
thing.
back, right? And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah.
So please tell me you went, I never unfollowed you either.
I didn't even say anything. I was like, oh.
Do you know what could be? Because obviously we will dive right into wrestling, but do you know what could be a real hill moment now for AJ? A real hill moment is if when we come off here, Tony goes and looks and it says AJ's blocked him.
That would be funny.
just for the pop.
I will beat you around the head with a pack of digestives, man.
That's funny.
That would be really funny. So obviously with the content creating, obviously with your journey, I always think, for me, I think, and if I remember correctly, the first video I remember seeing, and it's why you hit a nerve with me, was your beans on toast video.
Right.
Because I love beans on toast, and I have I always call my beans on toast special how I do it. So when I see you doing that, I was like, my guy's trying the right stuff, and I knew before you ate it that you were gonna dive in. Where did it hit off that British food for you? What video was it that went crazy? You went, I've hit something here.
So it was actually a joke at first. So my local supermarket's called Publix. That's the name of the supermarket. Really big supermarket in the southeast of the United States. So I had a friend. I have a friend over there, and her name is Holly, and she was just a friend through TikTok. Before I started doing UK stuff, but she lived in the UK, and I went to my store and they installed a British section. I was like, well, that's weird. And it literally says British food and it has like all this British food. So I filmed it, I posted it on TikTok and I tagged her. And I woke up the next morning, it was viral. And I was like, oh. So naturally, I went back the next day and bought every single item on the shelf. And I was like, I'm just going to start trying them like one by one. And the first thing I tried was Milky Bar, was the first one.
Nice.
Went kind of viral, but then I did beans on toast like 2 days later, and it went mega viral to the point where it was in the newspaper articles. It was like I was getting phone calls or text messages from people going, "Hey, you're on the radio in the UK. They're talking about your video. You're on TV. There's like TV clips, the news, like newspapers. Everybody was messaging me, and they're like, and I went from like 30,000 followers to like 100,000 in like a couple days, and I was like, oh, I got something here. So yeah, I just kept trying it. I always have. This is kind of, this may be weird for you guys because you live over there. So like living in America, you always see like London. They always show that. They always show obviously the Queen and like so over here our whole lives like always seeing that and thinking like, man, it's so cool. We don't have anything here like that. Um, Even as a kid, like I always had this fascination with London because it was always like a place that I see on TV, but I never been there and I never thought I'd ever go there. Um, but a lot of Americans have a fascination with the UK because, most people will probably never visit there. But it's on our TVs. You can look, it's like we see like all that as like super cool here, which it may just be normal to you. So, right. Because
Yeah, it's the opposite for us, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like everything
right,
we see
right.
is American, and like it's the obsession to always
Right,
go there, to
right.
want to go there because it's where all our films and TV shows come from.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, like for me, like I just started trying the food, and then my followers just started pouring in, and they were all from the UK, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, and yeah, and then I got to come over there. I've been there 4 times in the last like year, so
That's so cool.
yeah, so like it's kind of surreal, and the first time going there and seeing everything in person was like just goosebumps. Like I'm actually here seeing this in person. It's like crazy to me. Yeah.
I think Tony, you spent time in Canada. I 6 years ago, I people still literally say to me like, "Will you shut up about the time you went to America?" Like, come on! I'm like, but dude, you don't understand. I went to Los Angeles, I went Vegas, and I went to Toronto. Like, and because most people from here, if they're coming there, majority of people will go to New York or Florida because it's the
Right.
closest. So
Right.
for me, it was like I have to go the other side
Yeah.
because it's the furthest way. If I'm going to do it, I've got to do that side because if I get to go again, it will probably be Florida or New York.
New York. Right.
Yeah. So it's like you say, when you get there, it's like I'm standing here. I've seen this in a movie.
Right.
Seen this. Like I always use the story of Santa Monica Pier. When I went to Santa Monica Pier, I've got a video where I'm stood turning in a circle because I'm like, oh my God, I've literally jumped helicopters on motorbikes off of this in GTA 1,000 times.
So true. Right.
And I've been here, and I know most of this area because of GTA, and I can point this movie out. And then you go, oh my God, this is really cool. Look, there's the hood. That's so cool. I've seen some really cool movies, and you go,
Right.
but wait, hang on.
Yeah.
They're really cool movies, but they're also pretty fucking scary as well.
Yeah. 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 No, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. Like seeing it in person is just surreal.
Absolutely.
Now you've done it that way round, so you've seen London in the films and what have you, and you got your idea of this like magical Notting Hill place. So like my reference to this question is Paddington. Have you seen the Paddington movies?
Yeah. Of course. Of course.
So like I love that how they made London look and feel very quaint, very very upmarket, and too much of London is nothing like that. That's a very small, tiny like corner of Belgrave. So when you came over, was it a bit like, oh man, this place is a bit grubby, it's a bit over, a bit crowded? What was your thoughts?
No, no way. Cause so like I go to New York a lot, right? So
Okay.
I've lived in New York. I go to New York sometimes 10 times a year. So to come to London and like we went for a week and explored everything. And what we missed, like we didn't have time to do everything. We literally came back like 3 weeks later, spur of the moment to get on a plane to go back. We loved it so much the first time. 3 weeks later, we randomly booked flights and went back and spent a whole nother week and did everything we missed. And for me, it was like a cleaner New York City. It was cleaner
Okay.
and safer. I felt safer than New York, and I love going to New York. Like we love it there. But London, I don't get sometimes when people from there are like, "Oh, why do you go to London? It's shit." Like, no, London is pretty cool. Like, pretty cool. So, yeah, no, I think it's actually it was to see it in person and be there was better than even I thought.
I think
Well,
it's the case of
nice.
like you. Anyone says about their hometown, and my hometown is a shithole. It's
Right, right,
oh, you wouldn't want to come here because you've lived there your entire life, but then
right.
it takes to go like live somewhere like I did during my 20s. I went and spent 6 months a year in Europe. After 6 months, I couldn't wait to get home, but then I'd
Mhm.
be home for 2 weeks and go, ah, it's
Right,
still grey, dull, and boring here. I was 2 weeks ago. I was living on the beach.
right.
So it's just that, isn't it? It's that people would say it's a shithole because that's what they're used to. But you know, you go into London, you can't help. But there is some cool things you're going to see anywhere. It's you've got to see the tourist eyes, not the people that see it as every single day, because it becomes boring seeing Canary Wharf every day or
Yeah,
Big Ben.
right, right,
Of course,
right,
it's like seeing any landmark you see every day. It means nothing to you because
right.
you've seen it for a long time.
True.
When it like with the videos taken off and that, because I mean, not on the scale of what you're at, but I I've noticed a video of mine went viral a few weeks ago, and the majority of the percentage is America. And I made the joke of like, it's crazy. I've got this video that's hit 2.5 million views. If I walk through my hometown, no one will look at me. But if I was to walk through Albuquerque right now, everyone would go, "Hey, it's the guy off TikTok."
Right.
How does that go for you? Like you get 300,000 followers, or nearly 400,000, and a majority of them are here.
Yeah, so like it's like close to 80% are over there. So
Yeah.
with the majority being the London area, usually is like the number one. But the first time we went August of last year, me and my girlfriend went, and within 2 minutes of landing in Heathrow, we're waiting for our luggage and we're trying to get a Dr. Pepper, and the lady turns around and goes, "Oh my God, I follow you on TikTok." I was like, "Oh shit, like this is cool." So we took a picture together, we talked for a little bit, uh, and the whole week, everywhere we went, people were stopping me, going, "Hey, you're the guy from TikTok. You're the guy from TikTok." Taking pictures and like just chatting with people. It was so wild that um, I've been involved in pro wrestling for 20 something years, and more people recognize me from TikTok in the UK than ever any I think I've ever did in wrestling. Uh, yeah, we even went to AEW All In, the first one, and the whole time at AEW, people were like, "Can I get a picture with you? Oh, you're the guy from TikTok. Oh, the guy from TikTok." And my girlfriend's going, like, she's thinking I'm famous. She's like, "Oh my God, that you're so like everybody's." I was like, "Yeah, kind of a big deal here, you know." Saying that to the girlfriend, like but yeah, it was so crazy. But even I've been 4 times, all 4 times, somewhere while being out, someone stopped me and said, "What?" And it wasn't even just London. We were in Tamworth, Birmingham, Portsmouth. People were like, "Hey, I follow you on TikTok. Can I get a picture with you?" Or can I? I was like, "This is wild."
That's what I mean. Like, obviously, it's one thing seeing the videos go viral on your phone,
Right.
like because that's amazing. You're seeing
Yeah.
videos hitting views and likes and followers and people probably messaging you. But I mean, when did it hit for you? Was it 2020 when it hit for you?
No, it wasn't until 2021.
Was it 2021? Right.
It really,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. 2020, like it was like during the pandemic, I was not making the food videos yet. It was still I was kind of just making stupid videos. I had a viral video of a car that went viral, and that was like it was literally during the first week of like COVID, and I was furloughed, and I was sitting on the toilet, and I had a video that I had in my phone for like a month before COVID even happened. And I was like, just got on TikTok. I was like, "Oh, I'll just post it," and it went like 2.5 million views, and it was crazy. But
Your
yeah, it
first
was 2021 when I started doing the food.
your
so
first video went viral then.
No, it was not my first. My first, I made like a bunch of other just stupid. I don't even know what I was doing videos. The video that went viral is not even literally somebody. A friend of mine sent me a video of a car they were driving next to, and the front of the car was like flapping, and he just sent it to me like, "Oh, it's funny." And that one day, the first week of COVID, I was on the toilet and I was like, "I think I could put a sound to this." And I put Busta Rhymes, and Like
I know.
before I could flush the toilet, my brother called me and said, "Your video is at like 300,000 views." I was like, "I just posted it," and then just
Wow.
took off from there. Yeah,
So to be honest, you're probably making me realise how late I was to TikTok, because everyone during the pandemic went crazy for TikTok, but because I don't know, I was like, I'm not ready for another app right now, and I don't want to follow the
right.
trend. Like everyone over here was on TikTok and playing Call of Duty through lockdown. I was like, I'm still on Instagram and playing Apex Legends, so I don't need to follow trends. So it was probably 2021 when I was starting with TikToks. I know I was late to it, and I
Yeah,
just know, like, finding, like I said, finding videos like yourself and seeing the bean, like I said, the beans on toast video,
yeah.
how much that hit struck with me, because like I said, so British stuff. I'm sure you've tried. You've done beans on toast. You did cheese with it, didn't you?
I did.
Have you done it with, or have you tried it with Marmite on the toast?
I have. Yeah, I have.
Yes, right, okay. You know what I'm talking about there, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that. See, Tony, leave the chat if you're not okay with this, right?
No, Marmite, mate.
I was only like 8 years ago. I started doing the Marmite on the toast, but it just brings it to a next level with the taste.
Yeah, I don't mind
Bit
it
of
on the
Liam
toast.
Parents.
I actually tried Marmite one day just off the spoon. That was the worst thing in history. Like I would never
Oh
do it
yeah,
again.
yeah, no.
No.
It's got to have the toast it's
Got
got
it.
to be absorbed.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
What about the fish finger sandwich? Have you had one of those yet?
I made one here in America. I just went and bought fish fingers and did my own, but people lost their mind because I put cheese on it, and I guess you're not supposed to.
Yes.
But
No,
I'm a cheese. I
I'm
love
for it.
cheese.
Yeah,
Okay. See? Okay. People lost their minds that I use cheese.
So there's a process to the perfect fish finger sandwich. Yeah. So you got to slightly toast the bread to give it some integrity, because otherwise it
Yes.
just falls to pieces. Slightly toasted, 4 fish fingers, and then a layer of plastic cheese, American cheese. You know what you get on your burgers. Slap some of
Right.
that on. Some sweet chili sauce on top, and if you're getting extra special, just throw a tiny bit of salad on top, just to give it a bit of crisp. That
Yep.
is the
Good.
perfect fish finger sandwich,
Yeah.
man.
we're gonna
That's
have
the
to get into the wrestling talk soon, because I'm starving now,
right. Me too.
and I don't even like fish. I don't eat anything that swims. But that was
Oh,
like, that sounds quite new. I was thinking I'll just replace the fish fingers with some chicken strips, maybe.
you could do that too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. Oh,
Well,
should we
before the
pause for a
food
sec
chat
while we all get
ends,
some food?
Yeah.
before we
Lunch
finish the
break.
food
Yeah.
chat, I had a pack of digestives today, and I was thinking of you, AJ, because the last few videos I saw of you were trying digestives, the white chocolate digestives,
Yeah.
Dipski and the T-ski and all of that. And I don't know if they were here when you were last here, but there's triple chocolate digestives now. So the biscuit is chocolate. It's got chocolate chunks in the biscuit and then a layer of chocolate as well.
No, I've missed
And
those. I didn't get those.
I was going to eat them here on the podcast, but then I opened them at work, and then all the desks were just like, yeah, let's have a look at that, and yeah, nab nab, and I ended up with like 4 myself. Gone.
Yeah, once you eat, you can't stop eating them. Like, there's just no way. Like, and I'm on a diet right now. Like, it's super strict. I'm doing carnivore, and uh, I have biscuits in the pantry, and I'm like, it's tough, but no, I'm sticking to it. Sticking to it.
I was going to get you a pack and send them over, but if you're eating healthy,
I'm strict right now. Super strict.
it's coming up to Christmas though. There's no rules at Christmas.
No, so I figure if I can, I'm gonna stay on this for another couple of weeks. I have to go. I have a trip planned to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Once I go to Pittsburgh, I'll probably go off a couple days. Then I'm gonna go back on through Christmas until
Okay,
Christmas.
wow.
Then Christmas, there's no rules. But yeah,
A few mince pies.
I do like mince pies. I do.
Is
I
that an
do.
American thing at all?
It's not at all. No, but I have
Okay.
to go to my British store to get them. So
Okay, so look, I'm going to send you some of these chocolate digestives. I'm going to send you what I think are the best mince pies we can get over here. And
okay.
I've seen some new crackers as well, which I just can't get enough of. So these Jacob's crackers, they're caramelized onion and like some sort of fancy cheese.
So
Just
I can
devoured
get
a whole
Jacobs here.
box.
My supermarket sells Jacobs crackers, but they don't have the fancy ones, just the plain ones.
Yeah, so I think the ones are the big square ones in the orange pack, right? You're thinking of?
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah,
have
so
those.
these ones are more like instead of spreading on, they're more for dipping in.
Ah,
So
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
jobs. But yeah, flavor
My
absolutely
mouth is
bangs, man.
watering right now, just so you know. I'm like,
Honest to God, I'm just sitting there thinking, what have I got in the cupboard? I know I've got a pot noodle for later, so that might be that's when I'm editing and doing some gaming maybe as well. Bit of Xbox. I think, oh, pot noodle. I
yeah,
take it you've done the pot noodles.
I
I'm
have.
sure
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen you.
I can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
those here too. Yeah, yeah. They sell them. They import a lot of stuff now here, so.
With the pot noodles, and because I know Tony's opinions on the most standard one. What's your favourite?
I like the. The. It's like a curry one.
Yeah,
What
the
is it
curries.
called?
Yeah,
Is
there.
it called curry? No, it's not
It's
called that though.
there's a bomb. There used to be a Bombay one, didn't there,
That's what
Tony?
it's called.
Bombay Bad
Bombay.
Boy.
It's called Bombay,
Bombay
but
Bombay,
Bad
it has
Boy.
like a kick
the
to it.
Bombay Bad Boy.
Bombay Pepper. That's my favorite one because it has a kick to it. It's a little
Mm.
spice. I like that.
I've not seen them in a long time. To
Yeah,
be
we got
fair,
because my girlfriend likes those too because she likes the spice. So I know we've had them recently.
right. If we get you back again another time, right, we're just going to bring food to this because I feel like
That's it.
we'll
Right, right.
make sure when you're not dieting, we'll bring you back. We'll just do
Yeah,
some food. We'll do some American stuff. You do
yeah, yeah,
some
yeah.
more British stuff because I think like doing this for a bit longer. By the end of it, we're all going to be like,
Yeah, I know. I'm really
Yeah.
hot for it. Right.
We'll just do
It's dinner time here soon, so yeah.
a big old mukbang
yeah.
for the three of us.
Right?
Speaking of when you're coming back, obviously you mentioned, and this is what really struck me. You mentioned in the live that I came into that time about Portsmouth Comic Con.
Yeah, so we have a comic book coming out, myself with Paul Johnston Naylor, Goonie Dad.
Yes.
We have a comic book coming out, and
Wow.
it's coming out for Christmas. The Kickstarter is up and running right now, and you can pre-order the comic book. There's shirts, like there's merchandise. We're supposed to be at Portsmouth Comic Con May 3rd and 4th. We're supposed to have a table there. It's like 99% confirmed. The thing is, I have to get over there for it, but which I'll figure it out. Because I am coming back at the end of May for sure for our family trip, whatever. So I'll be there twice in May. But we're supposed to be at Portsmouth Comic Con May 3rd and 4th with a table inside the Comic Con. Selling
Nice.
my
That's
comics.
that's cool because we've got, ironically, we've got some friends that we met a couple of months ago via the pod. A guy called Luke Bugg and Paul Edwards, and Luke Bugg is heavily involved in the Portsmouth Comic Con.
Okay.
He's from Portsmouth. He's called the Geek of Steel. He's a big DC guy.
Okay.
And he mentioned when he's on the pod, like, we're going to get you guys involved. So I'm making sure that that's a thing. So we're hopefully going to be there. So we'll be able to meet in person and have a chat.
Yeah, we could do a live podcast.
There we go. That's it. That's exactly what we're thinking.
Yeah.
As a great man once said, and I really hope you'll understand the quote, is he who dares wins. Do you know that one?
I don't know it, but I like it.
I believe you said, I think it was me, when you said about TV shows, Only Fools and Horses, you've not got round to Only Fools and Horses
I've
yet.
not watched that. Yes, no. I'm really a bad TV watcher. I only watch wrestling and sports. So,
Yeah, fair enough. It's just it's one of those kind of probably like Friends for America. Only Fools and Horses is the biggest sitcom we've ever had.
Okay.
I'd say. Wouldn't you, Tone?
Yeah, it's ingrained in our culture, isn't it? Like, it's quintessentially British. It's definitely us. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you guys love Friends over there. I don't get
absolutely.
why you guys love it so much, but it's a great
It's
show.
that obsession. It's that obsession
know.
about America that we never got to see. So we live vicariously through TV shows, and that stems all the way back. Like, I remember being a little kid and just thinking Zach Morris was the coolest guy in the world, and I just want to go to Bayside, and I want to wear. I want to wear his Zubaz, and I want flicky blonde hair. I want all that, and like even weird obsessions. I don't know about you, Ryan, but like weird things that you'd see on TV from America, like when we go to the supermarket, I want to go home with a brown paper bag full of groceries instead of plastic ones. I want little things like that.
That's cool.
A simple thing. Like it's like the Slurpees or as we call them slush puppies.
Yeah.
Right. I know it's going to be exactly the same as such. Like it's going to be you're going to enjoy it for about 3 minutes and then all the juice is gone and you've just got ice. That's what happens. I know it's going to be exactly the same, but I'm like, I really want one of them out there just to say I've had that.
Right, right. No, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, I think like you said, like New York, Friends is based in New York. I think that's most people from there go to New York, right? Like most people I met, they're like, oh, I've been to New York or Orlando, Florida, right? Like that's the two places. But I always tell people that live there and say, we want to come to America, where should we go? I always tell them you got to go to New York once in your life. Like it's because like you see Friends, like it's pretty close to like that's New York, like you know.
If you're a geek for anything, like you can, there's so many shows, movies. New York is like probably the most, I'd think, most used city for any movie or TV show,
sure.
stuff like that. And like, funny enough, Scott, one of the other guys on the podcast, he's coming to New York Friday for a week.
Oh,
I don't know if you know this, Tone, but he's going out there for work. He does video editing and stuff and builds websites. He's going there for a week, but he's only got 1 day he has to work. So he's got 6 days to explore, and it's all been paid for. And I was like, dude, if you do not go to Hook and Ladder 8, and he's like, what's that? I was like, Google it, you'll see what I mean. And he was like, oh, he was on the phone. He's like, oh, right. Yeah, I was like, dude, if you, even if you're not into it, you don't know what Hook and Ladder 8 is.
you don't know this?
No.
Ironically, you've got your phone. Who are you going to call?
Come on.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the car garage in the Mask.
Oh, fuck off. Yes, it was as well. It was, the interior is the same interior. But Hook and Ladder 8, like, you've got to go there. Like, it's just, if you've ever seen one of them films, you've got to go and just say, I've seen that. As much as the Statue of Liberty, as much as the Empire State Building.
Everything, yeah.
It's just little things. Like I said to him as well, like you think, oh, I'll go to Hell's Kitchen or the Bronx because I've seen this in Daredevil or this in The Fiend. You go, but you've also got to remember they're placed as the rough areas in those movies for a reason.
Very true.
You've got to be careful.
Very
Next
true.
time you come over, AJ, would you... So I've moved from London to Sheffield. So like I moved a few years ago, so I'm now considered a country boy compared to some of like my friends and family from London. And please do come and visit Sheffield. There's some banging burger places that I'll take you to.
Okay.
But it also gives me like, since I moved up, like inspiration that when I do America, like of course New York and LA standard ones, but I want to go to like the arse end of Middle America, find a diner that like has just one trucker in and like hopefully a waitress called Maud who's pouring coffee out. You know, I want to visit one of those places. Like, to me, that's magical. That's real America as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's because it's the whole, like, there's so much to your country. Like when you were doing the journey the other day, and it was like I think you said you had like 4.5 hour journey. For us, that's a whole day gone. For you, that's just a journey to go see your friends or go to a restaurant show. It's just it's so big.
Yeah.
When I came, I obviously was going to LA, and I've told this story so many times. You can sit up here. I've got Stand By Me is my favourite movie of all time. So when I was in LA, I'm like, oh my God, Oregon's right above. I can do this. And then I looked at prices and how long journeys and stuff. I was like, wow, I just wanted to go for a day.
Yeah, can't do that here.
It's not as easy as it's not like going from. Not like going from London to Portsmouth. It's not doable as easy as you think. And again, like you said, middle America. When we went from LA to Vegas, 90% of that journey was Nevada desert.
Right.
And it's like that could be classed as just being boring, but it's like no, because everything looks like every movie I've ever seen, every country and western. Back to the Future 3 looks like it was filmed right there.
Right. It's true.
It's like you say, when you come here, it's stuff that you've always wanted to see and do. It's what we want to see and do. You came here to see American wrestling, because I'm trying to segue quite smoothly into wrestling talk, because you know, we like a wrestle. You came here to see AEW. Did you see any British wrestling when you were here? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yep. Sorry. Did it come back?
That's yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. See, I put my phone on do not disturb and someone still called. It's somebody on my favorites list.
That'd be why.
So are we good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're all good.
All right. Yeah. So I came there and I did not get to see any other wrestling but AEW, unfortunately. Uh, just and then we were gonna come for All In this year, and we decided not to, and came the beginning of August instead of the end. Instead of coming for All In, I came there and ran a 10K in Guilford. So I did that instead of going All In this year. All In was fun the first year, but I was like, I did it the first time. I don't need to do it again. So, but like my goal is to wrestle in the UK. That's my goal right now. I've reached out to some companies. Nobody's really like inviting to taking American wrestlers to wrestle there. I don't know. It's like, I guess you got to know somebody. So I'm working on it. But I tag Progress Wrestling like all the time, and I'm like, hey, you want to book me? They never do. So, but My dream is to wrestle in the UK at least one time.
Well, this is why I wanted to bring this up about the Progress Wrestling thing, because me and Tony were talking about this the other day about like that stemmed like the idea of the chat with you about this because
Right.
I mean I did wrestling. I believe it or not, I know I'm this skinny, but I've always been this skinny. I did wrestling for 15 odd years,
Right.
and so I was never going to be one of the big boys, but I came through with a lot of British. Like Marty Skrull was
Yeah.
at the same school as me. Who else? I'm trying to name drop now. I came through people like Danny Burch from
Yeah,
NXT, Martin Stone.
I wrestled him. I wrestled Martin.
Did you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Oh shit! How cool's that?
in Florida.
Small world.
Yeah. Florida, I wrestled him.
Of course, yeah. That's where he lives now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even smaller world that just threw me off there. So because Martin literally worked one of the first ever show I promoted back in the day. I decided to put my first ever show on it was as a memorial to my dad who'd never seen me wrestle, and he was the big name we had. So it's weird that you've met him as well. That's so cool.
Yeah, I think I wrestled him twice, actually. I think so. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember, yeah.
So a lot of the guys that come through that era, we came through a school called Dropkick. So we went on to do like a lot of them went on to do quite well. There was Paul
Right.
Robinson, who then tagged with Will Ospreay and
Yeah.
became the Swords of Essex and stuff like that. So I mean, there are other companies. Who have you reached out to? So you've reached out to Progress.
Yeah, there's a couple of not in the London area. There was a company, I don't remember the name, it was in Newcastle, I believe. Uh, and then there is something kind of like so Paul, the guy that is my partner Pawn Bros, Paul Johnson Naylor Goonie Dad, he's actually training to wrestle. He's in his 11th.
Nice.
I think tomorrow's week 12 for him training. So our idea is look, I've been doing this since 1999. I stopped in 2021 wrestling, and kind of TikTok took over my TikTok was my outlet because I had stopped wrestling. Really, the
Yeah.
reality is that. So I used this as my entertainment because I wasn't wrestling anymore because I didn't think I could wrestle anymore. And then in January of this year, I don't know, something lit a spark in my ass. I don't even know what it was, and I was like, I was 300 pounds, and I was the fattest I'd ever been in my life. I was so out of shape, and I was like, I'm gonna get on a diet. And Paul said, "Well, I'll get on one too. Let's start training. Let's start working out. Let's start getting healthier." Um, and Paul said, "My dream was always to be a wrestler." And I was like, "Well, if you become a wrestler, I'll get back into wrestling, and then maybe we could tag. You're from the UK. I live in the USA. All his followings here in the USA. All my followings there in the UK." I was like, "This would be super cool." And obviously, we were friends. Our friendship is pretty tight. Like our families are tight. Like we have a group chat with our families. Like it's a close friendship. We travel together. So he's training. I got back in shape, and it was in like August. Steve Carino, you know who Steve Carino is?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So Steve I had wrestled for Steve when he ran a promotion before he worked for NXT. I was his heavyweight champion for over a year. Uh, and this is back in like 2015, 16, something like that. So Steve saw that I was getting back in shape and talking about wrestling, and he was like, "Hey, like Colby Carino, who's his son, who's in NWA, he's like, Colby's running a show. Do you want to work?" And I was like, "This is my chance to get back in." Like, like Steve's always taking care of me, so I got back in the ring, and that show got me booked. Another show, which got me booked. So I just did my third show Saturday. So I've been back for three shows, three matches so far. Yeah, and like now that Paul is wrestling, our goal is to tag, and hopefully he's training at a place called New Force Wrestling in it's kind of outside of, I guess, like between London and Guildford where he lives.
Yeah.
So he's training there. So hopefully we'll have an opportunity to tag there, and then he can come here. I'm wrestling for a company primarily called Turbo Pro Wrestling in Greenville, South Carolina. So we're trying to work something out too, and maybe even get it to where people that want to travel from here to there, maybe we can do some sort of like invasion angle. I'm just talking. I don't know if it's going to happen, but
It's the promoter in your head, isn't it?
oh
Like
yeah, for sure.
always. I'm always. I haven't, like I said, 6 years. Literally, September was 6 years since I wrestled last, and it was. I'd actually, even then, I'd been out for a few years, and it was just a once-off story I'd done with this young lad who I was working with. We were working in a bar together, and he was into wrestling, and he said, "I work for this. It's like really small-time company."
Right,
It was
right.
like, "I've got this idea of we introduce you as kind of the guy who inspired me to wrestle, etc." And we did the storyline for their show. Our
Right.
storyline, without being big-headed, outshone. They were kind of I
Right.
mean, horrible, a
It's a good
backyard
story.
fed. Their
Yeah.
matches were all kendo sticks, all getting thrown through
Okay.
everything. We told a wrestling story, and it was
Right.
I'd been this guy who tried being a professional wrestler for 15 years, who was training this new kid, who basically got pissed off. I
Right.
turned
Right.
heel on the sense of I'm pissed off because I've tried being the good guy for 15 years. This is the story. We turn
Yeah.
it. I'm just here. I'm going to prove that I'm bad to the bone. I'm going to go out. I'm going to teach this kid how to wrestle, and then I'm just going to beat him up. And we did this really good story. I realised 2 minutes into the match, I probably should have did a bit more cardio. I was never been so happy to be heel and use excuses to powder out of the ring and go under
so
and just
much
get my
easier.
water.
Right. So much easier being a heel.
Yeah, just any excuse to get out and just go.
Right.
Yeah. So, like that I was so vibed, and we had this idea to continue it. It just because he decided after that he was kind of done with wrestling. I was like, I haven't got time. I was doing other things. DJing took over.
Yeah.
So wrestling's always there. I always come up with ideas, and even you talking, my head is. I mean, I'm not as involved in the British wrestling, but I still know enough people that may not be Rev Pro Progress. I mean, I know people that work for them both, but I know companies that do okay for themselves that I think maybe I could say, listen, if you don't know who AJ is, you do know who AJ is. Go on TikTok. This is a market to bring in other marks from a different network.
Right. And I'm not trying to like oh, my dogs are barking. Sorry. I'm not trying to like not put myself over, but there's 400,000 people that follow me that probably don't follow wrestling. So I know they'll come watch me just because they watch my TikTok. So it does bring a new audience to the product. And it's the same thing we're talking about when Paul's ready to do matches and he comes to America. When he comes here, it's like when I go there, people notice him, recognize him. Oh, you're that guy from TikTok. And the company that I'm working with now, Turbo, I'm going to be helping them a lot next year. And I'm like, we're going to gain a whole new audience that's only coming to see him because they know him from TikTok. Not because they know anything about wrestling, but I guarantee you they come back for the next show, And that's the goal, right? Yeah.
That is this look right. Look at WWE.
Right.
They bring The Rock in because The Rock is the biggest name in entertainment. Every single
Right.
person knows who The Rock is, so
Right.
it brings eyes on. And they made the smartest marketing decision they ever made this year by doing what they did with Cody,
Yeah.
and not going with their plans. And look at WWE now.
Right. Right. No,
I,
it works. Right.
I I've always been one as a DJ. If I find I could drop a little "Are you ready?" from D Generation X just to get a little pop from 8 kids in
Yeah.
the crowd, I do. But because of this year, Tony, how many times have I sent a video of the end of my night where I've ended the night with Cody's theme tune?
Oh, it's great.
And
You sent me two today.
it's true, like, because wrestling's cool again. Wrestling
Yeah,
is probably,
it is.
and it's probably cooler than ever. So, what again? All right, I'm not saying you're Dwayne, but you have a following. You
Right,
have
right.
people that follow. I mean, dude, like, I'd be lying if I sat and said the only reason I brought you on here was because I'm a fanboy for you. It's also because obviously I'm thinking if we can get someone like you that's got a following,
Right.
you mention our name. It's a connection. Everything is a connection, and
Yeah.
Can I-
and that, right.
Can I just jump
That's
in
what it's about.
real quick? Sorry.
Yeah.
So something came to my mind. So Paul, I put my hands up. I don't know Paul other than from seeing him on your TikTok.
Right.
So he's got a decent following, US following on TikTok at least, right?
He actually is. So on TikTok he's at like 300 and I think he's at 340.
Okay.
I'm at like 380, and then he has on Facebook 535,000 followers on
Wow.
Facebook.
wow.
Yeah, he's got
So-
80,000 on Instagram. He has way more followers than me, but all his following's in America.
So how about this then? So for anyone that believes Santa is real and wrestling is maybe something else, you look, go away now. Grown-ups are going to talk for a second, okay? So we know how this works, right? So what about you turn heel on Paul? Now what do you put on the line? Oh, you put each other's accounts on the line. Loser deletes their account. Yeah.
Yeah,
Book
so
it.
like I'll tell you this, I would have done that when I was 20 years old, but now I'm 43. I want to be the good guy all the time. I don't want to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to be I want to be a baby face. I don't want to be a heel. I don't know why. I just don't want to be a heel. Like I love the crowd interaction and the reaction and the kids. Like I wrestled on Saturday and the amount of kids that were in the crowd and like to see them going, oh, we came back for you because we saw you last time, and like to me that's I don't want to be a heel anymore. The other thing is, it would be a great story for sure, but I think we just want to be a tag team and kind of tag and do some cool stuff, and we'll work single stuff. But I think naturally we're both baby faces. Like I don't even know if I could be a heel anymore because I just like I don't know. I'm a dad. Like I'm older now. Like I don't even want to be a heel. I just want to be a baby.
You're
I wanna
extremely
just-
personable. That comes across in
Yeah.
your content for sure. I mean, I like you. Apart from the time you unfollowed me, I think you're great.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna follow you when we're done. Don't worry.
Did you not notice when he was offering to send you care packages and stuff like that? I was in my head. I was like, Tony's doing everything to ensure he gets that follow and not blocked.
Everything. No, that's funny. Yeah, the other part to it is like I can't wrestle like I used to when I was 20. Like my body doesn't allow me to do. I'm not diving through ropes anymore. I'm not doing topes and suicide dives and planchas and all that. Like I just can't. I don't like. Just don't care to. I like to do comedy now. Like my dream opponent would be Grado in a like stupid comedy match. Or Grado, whatever. Grado in a stupid comedy match because like that's just I don't know. I just can't do the cool crazy stuff I used to do anymore. Like I know my limitations, So I like.
See,
to do
I didn't
comedy.
want to
I like
be
have fun.
insulting with the. Sorry, I didn't want to be insulting. When I was thinking this a few moments ago was like your personality reminds me a lot of Colt Cabana. I was
Yeah,
like, obviously
I've heard
he's
that, yeah.
one of the greatest comedy wrestlers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And thought,
Oh, for
that maybe your personality would lend itself to something like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like that's totally spot on. That's like Colt is awesome. He's amazing. But But yeah, like I had my match in the first match I did when I came back was a serious match, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have fun. It was too serious. I didn't feel like I wasn't able to be myself. Um, but I had to get back into the scene. Then the second match I had, if you go back, I think I posted it on YouTube and watch it. It's on YouTube, yeah. We had involved donuts and cereal and
Yeah, yeah.
bread. The match was absolutely insanely stupid, but the crowd loved it. And when I went back to that same promotion, Turbo, this past week, when I got there, all the fans were like, "Did you bring the donuts? Did you bring the cereal?" Like waiting for it. And I was like, "That's that." Like I don't even have to take the crazy bumps anymore because I know what my role is and what my gimmick is now in my character. And I absolutely had so much fun. This show, we teased donuts. We used a tent. It was absolutely insane. I haven't posted it yet, but the match was so over the top and comical. But there was also hard hitting and wrestling in it. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want to do.
But that's what makes, I think, the best wrestling match. As much as I do like, I mean, I like AEW. I don't
Right.
love AEW because it's so fast paced and it's big move,
Yeah.
big move, big move, big move. To me, that isn't wrestling. That's not telling a story. The best matches, my favourite matches, have always been the best story. And yes, comedy, especially like you said, I think where you found yourself as a face and you found this character is because you found the best part that works for you. You know that you don't have to wrestle. Well, you don't have to wrestle the whole match just to get a reaction out of the crowd. You have to be you to get the reaction out of the crowd. That's what finds a gimmick, isn't it? Like, I don't know if it's similar over here. Like, when we were training, one of the best learning curves for any wrestler in the UK was the holiday camps, where you go around the trailer parks over here, where they put on wrestling shows.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, you might do 5 moves in a match, but you have the crowd eating out your palm of your hands because every wrist lock is over exaggerated.
Yep.
It's stupid. You're doing stupid little things where you're getting the mum in the front row to kiss your hand better.
Yeah.
Just to get them involved. And I think the story is the best part. If you could tell a story without having to do 15,000 moves, your career's not only going to last longer, so people are going to want to watch you more.
And there's very few wrestlers today, even in WWE. I mean, R-Truth, that guy doesn't have to wrestle like ever. But there's very few that are at that level. Like, I mean, even Cody, he has to wrestle every night. Like, he has to wrestle. When Cody's in a match, Cody's working his ass off, right? Because he has to. There's very few of that, like that, more of like the old school characters and gimmicks. Because wrestling is obviously not the same as it was in the '80s when there was, you know, the big boss man, or like, you know, they had TL Hopper who was a plumber, or you had Duke the Dumpster Drozy who was the garbage man. Like, that doesn't exist anymore, really, in wrestling. Either company, it's just not a thing, right? Those kind of gimmicks are not. But I love that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
What would your
I
80s
would
gimmick
book a whole-
be?
What's that?
What would your 80s gimmick be?
What I'm doing now today with like, so I've been doing the last couple shows like using the donuts and using food because I love food.
And it's your thing.
That would totally be my thing, and it's so over and stupid. Like suplexing someone on cereal instead of thumbtacks, and the crowd going crazy as if it was thumbtacks. Like,
Yeah.
but a cereal, right? Like, so to me, like, I would do something to that. I don't know, but I'm a gimmick. I would run a company with everybody has to have a gimmick. Like, I don't want to see 10 of the same guys doing the 10 same matches. And like AEW can be like that sometimes, but so can WWE. It's become so predictable, I believe, that like, you know, I can sit down and watch wrestling and go, we know Cody Rhodes isn't losing to Gunther. Like, let's just be real. Like, he's not going to lose. He's the man right now, right? Just as if Hulk Hogan wasn't losing to King Kong Bundy on Saturday Night Main Event. You knew that wasn't going to happen. Like, you know, and I like the gimmicky stuff. I don't know, and the fun stuff. But not
Goofy
everyone
wrestling
likes
for
that
life.
shit. What's that?
Goofy wrestling for life. Simon Miller
for
from What
sure,
Culture Says.
For sure.
it goes down to like when that's something I used to say when I wrestled. People always used to say, "Oh, you do wrestling, it's fake. Don't like you know who's gonna win, right? So, but don't you always want to win? No, because if I'm on I always just say if I'm on a show and there's 8 matches, I don't want to be the guy that wins. I want to be the match that they remember the most.
Bingo.
Whether I
Right.
win or lose, I want to be the guy that they go away talking about. Because you look at it, kids, they used to watch SmackDown, and yes, you'd have Undertaker and that, but 90% of them were there for Cena or Rey Mysterio.
Right.
Because they were telling the best stories for kids.
Right. Yeah. And I always say that, like, the opening match could have 450 high spots and dives, but I guarantee you they're going to remember the guy who suplexed someone on cereal more than they would that. That's just the truth. Or shoved a donut in someone's mouth, or I came out to the ring and handed out donuts. They're going to remember that because I gave them donuts more than they're going to remember something else. And it's not a knock on anybody else. It's just like that's not my style anymore. I love AEW. I watch AEW every week. I never miss it. I absolutely love AEW. WWE, I don't watch as much anymore. I'll be honest with you. It's harder for me to watch just because I feel like it's so predictable. Like, I know who's going to win. I can tell, like, their stories. That's never changed for WWE. They stick to that script of, if Cody's the guy, he's the guy, right? You'll know
Even in this Renaissance era, you're not into what Papa H has given us. To me, it's different, very different.
It's not really, though, because, again, like, and maybe this is from like an insider perspective. I don't know. I love the matches. Yeah, nobody puts a pay-per-view on like WWE. It's always the best, right? Their pay-per-views are always top-notch. But their weekly shows just don't catch my attention anymore. That's just not my flavor anymore. And because it's a lot of talking, and I want to see action.
I was like with Raw and SmackDown before WrestleMania. I was hooked because of the storylines were so over, so unbelievable. Now, since there is stuff that keeps me interested, but I noticed back then I was staying up and watching Raw and SmackDown. Now I'm watching Zanti Zap or I'm watching Alan Owens wrestling and their highlights because I can get what I need from it. But I also have this hope of the Netflix thing because there's little tidbits and teases. I'm thinking Netflix, we're going to get an adult WWE that we want. Right. I think there will still be a market for a gimmicky childlike WWE because they need that as well because their market, but they're so big now. If they've got Netflix to take it, they can do it all. They can do one show that is blood, guts, gore, and what we want to see. Maybe not overdoing it because then that becomes boring and repetitive. But they could also do a more child-friendly show.
Yeah.
That if they're clever with this Netflix thing, it could be the best thing they ever do. If they're clever.
You're right. I agree because they'll have a lot more freedom. I want to see like their pay-per-views. Like I said, every pay-per-view they've had, there's maybe been one bad pay-per-view this year where it was like, the matches are all top-notch, but it's solid action, wrestling action. Their Monday show, like I don't want to watch the first hour of someone talking. I don't have it in me anymore to sit there and watch it. Right? Like I don't care about that. That's why I like AEW right now because I do like to see the competitiveness, the action. Will Ospreay to me is probably the best wrestler right now in the world. I don't know, just to me, I think he's how much he's improved from the Indies to now. Even talking, like his presence, his pace of matching. He's not go 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 go. It's go go go. Slow down. Go go go. He's perfected it and become so good all around. Obviously Cody's the man right now. Like I don't care what anybody says, and Roman is too. Roman, people complain, Roman only wrestles 3 times. He doesn't have to wrestle anymore. He's that at that high of a level. Roman, you don't need Roman to wrestle more than a couple times a year. Like his presence is just totally different than everybody else's.
And I keep saying this about Cody and Roman. If they go, I don't know if it'll be next year they'll do a third, but I think there will be a third WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you think of it, they are the new Rock and Austin. If they do that.
For sure.
They are the current Rock and Austin. And it works so well. But yet at the same time, I'm a Punk guy. I know it's pretty evident from his last promo, touch wood, it's not true, that he's probably going to be doing a lot less. But I need that that one world heavy. I mean, I need to see that. I prefer that belt, the look of that belt, over the Cody belt. But I just feel like that belt is suited to him, and I need to see him have it once. Seth and Punk need a good run for that to happen, but Rock and Roman are
right.
The biggest, like you say, the biggest names.
Here's the throw into this. John Cena has to win the title one more time before.
I know, right?
Or the IC, right, to get the Grand Slam.
I think he has to.
But do we think, because obviously, did you see? I don't know if you see the promo last week where Cody and Randy were talking in the locker room, and Randy kept looking at the belt.
Yeah.
But we're all forgetting, how long ago did he turn up on Raw and talk to Gunther?
Right.
So I've got this feeling. I know Cena was more of a SmackDown guy, but I think potentially that could have been the nod that if he's going to go for a belt, it's going to go for the World Heavyweight. So him and Cena go through that one, while Cody's. So it does it because we all saw what happened when Cody wasn't going to get his way. Not he wasn't going to get his way, but the Cody crybabies weren't going to get their way last year. What if that happens again and it takes momentum away from Cena?
Yeah, I just think Cena has to. I mean, like, to me, when you talk about, like, always, everybody was asking, what's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling? Or, like, who? Like, Cena is definitely on. Like, that guy is, like, he's so. I know, he can't wrestle. He's so underrated what he's done and how long he's done it. And as an actor, he's an incredible actor. He's super underrated as an actor. So
he's better than Rock.
I actually told somebody that this morning. What's that?
He's better than The Rock.
And I am the biggest. I like The Rock is the reason I'm into wrestling. The Rock is has been my idol. Like I'll tell you, there was a chance I could have been meeting him tonight, AJ, and it's all your fault. I'm not. No, I'm joking.
I know. I saw that. Yeah.
Don't, dude. So basically, long story short, my friend gets me tickets to like media screenings or premieres of movies. Mm-hmm. He asked me to go tonight to Red One, and I was like, oh my God, because he got me to go see The Flash a month early, Beetlejuice, some great movies. But I was like, this is The Rock. And I was like, dude, I can't. My partner's at work.
Where is it at? Leicester Square?
Yeah, in Leicester Square.
So Goonie Dad used to run the movie theater in Leicester Square. What the Cinemark?
Cineworld.
Cineworld. He was the general manager. Now he's in a different location, but that was his location. He did all those premieres. He's met The Rock before doing those premieres, but
everyone's met him. So my friend, I said to my friend, like, you don't understand, like, next week, my partner usually works Monday and Friday. She's working Monday and Tuesday next week.
Right.
Until 8 p.m. This thing starts at 7 in London. I'm on the south coast. I'm right near Brighton. So I'm like, it'll never happen. And he texted me earlier saying, just sit in. We've been given a free bar and there's a rumours that Dwayne's here. I was like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, he is there.
Like,
I saw him. He was going there.
Oh, no. And I've done a TikTok tonight ranting about this because this has happened too many times. There was when they were filming Fast and Furious 6 in London. Yeah. That was 10 minutes from my mum's house where I lived. But at the time, I was working in Greece.
Oh.
10 minutes. So I've got friends that have got pictures with him there. Then when I came to LA, I was like, look, I don't care. Like, he lives there. I'm going to find him. I'm going to find out where he lives and I'll sit outside his house. He was in London the time I was in LA. Oh. Then when Black Adam came out, this same friend who's there tonight works at this big radio station in the UK. I don't know if you heard of the radio station, like Heart and Capital.
I heard them. Yeah.
He offered me, because I do like local radio, he's like, do you want to come have a look around? The same night that was the Black Adam premiere, when I got to Leicester Square, there was all this going on and I could see it, and they were like, right, coming out soon, the stars. And then there was this guy. Then I heard Pierce Brosnan, but I'm like, looking at the time, like, I've got to be in there in 5 minutes. And as I was walking through the door, I heard, and the man you've all been waiting for, the star. I was like, oh. Slammed the door, went up there and sat there like, this is just not meant to be. And it's happened again tonight.
Yeah, you're never going to meet him. Yeah.
No. So I've done a rant on TikTok tonight where I'm saying, like, Dwayne, I need you to see this. So I think I'm going to do one of them TikToks where every day I quote The Rock until he sees me. You know, them guys.
Yeah.
There's some guy did it to a baseball player over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
or no, an American football player. He was
American
like
football player,
tossing.
yeah.
That's it, tossing balls until he
Yeah,
sees me. I'm like, I think I'm going to do it. I've got to try.
Man, yeah. So Rock's dad, when I was training, well, I was after my training. I would go still train even when I was working shows. And Rock's dad used to come to the training facility down in Florida where I trained. And Tamina was there, Tamina's in WWE. She was just starting to learn to wrestle. Yeah, Jimmy Snuka, I did like a workout with him once. I used to like a lot of the, Norman Smiley, Gangrel. But yeah, Rock's dad I got to meet a couple times.
I could tell stories about Gangrel. I did a tour with Gangrel, but that's probably not for the pod.
Oh no, I'm gonna ask him.
Likes a party. That guy.
He keeps going over there, and I don't like asking people for stuff, but I'm like, I just message him and be like, because I've worked for him, his shows before. In 2021, the last show I had done was for Gangrel, at his place. But I know he goes over there at the same time every single year.
But again, I know you say you don't want to ask him, but at the same time, if he's clever,
right,
you've got a market here. If he's clever, he'll put you on with him.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like he's got.
Yeah.
Why? If you don't look at this, you're on this podcast now because if I didn't ask, you wouldn't be sat here.
That's true. Right.
No,
so, yeah.
Again, we're going to make you watch Only Fools and Horses so you understand. He who dares wins.
I gotta watch it.
Oh yeah, that's the British way of saying it, or shoot your shot is the American way, I think.
Yeah.
Now we're back onto British shows. I've got one last question for you from myself.
I know what's going on.
I hope you're familiar with Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm talking a real fight, not a wrestling match, a real fight. Who would you rather be up against? 1 Brock Lesnar or 6 Mr. Beans?
6 Mr. Beans. I don't want to get with Brock. I don't want to fight Brock Lesnar. He's scary.
But 6 Mr. Beans, logistically, man, that's a lot of arms and legs flailing around at you.
No, I think I could take. He's skinny. He's small. I think I could take 6 of them. But Brock Lesnar, no. I don't think 6 of me could take on 1 Brock Lesnar. He's scary. You ever watch his interview with Stone Cold and he's like, "I don't like people." I'm like, "Yep, nope, don't want to mess with him."
Yeah, do you know what? I think about that a lot because, he Austin kept saying, like sort of insider terms, like that's a shoot, right? You don't like people, and he's like, yeah, no, I live on my gated ranch. I don't speak to people. I know my wife and my kids. I don't speak to anyone. And then like in his hiatus, he was then like being like jolly old giant on his Insta and stuff, and going out meeting people and smiling and stuff. And then he done the whole cowboy run, and he was happy go lucky. So like, was that like a double bluff in that Austin interview? Is he a nice person, or is he, or like my missus says, like he looks like a man who eats babies?
Yeah, I think he's probably nice when he wants to be, but I would imagine if he doesn't know you, he's not going to be. Because I've seen him where he's walking through an airport and people are asking him for autographs. He's not nice, like because they're bothering him. It's just not right. Like he just doesn't want to be bothered, and I respect that. I mean,
yeah. Have either of you ever seen the Wade Barrett when he tells the story of the kid in the shower with Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, AJ, it's hilarious. There was this kid, they were at a gym together, and I think Wade was like, there was a few of us. Brock was there, but he was kind of on his own sort of thing. Right. And this kid was just was following him everywhere. And then when they all went into the showers, Brock came in and went straight into the showers, and the kid walked in and all in there, and they said, basically, they were all like, this isn't going to go well. And then Brock was like, are you trying to look at my dick or something?
Oh, my God. That's the wrong place, though, to go after it.
Yeah, like, to be fair, and the wrong person to probably go and have a look at his dick.
Yeah, right. That's absolutely insane to even do that.
Yeah. I mean, Hornswoggle I can understand because, everyone wants to know.
Right.
Everyone wants to know how big.
I still don't think I would do that if it was Hornswoggle, but okay.
no, but he's more likely to be the choice than Brock Lesnar because,
Yeah. No,
Hornswoggle might be
Brock
like,
is
I
scary.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brock is scary as fuck, and he's
Right.
like one of the most legitimate.
Right. He's legit. Right. Yep.
Everything about it is legit.
So
The
true.
fact that he brought Braun Strowman down to his knees in that
When he stiffed
botch,
him. Yeah. Yep.
you saw Braun Strowman, the Monster Among Men, get humbled so fucking quick.
Quickly. Right. Right. So.
Yeah, that does
I'm going
kind of
Mr.
like
Bean.
answer my question. Just that one thing alone. Yeah.
I can't remember when you asked us the question, Tone. Was it who would win between Brock Lesnar and Six Mr. Beans?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I argued the Mr. Bean side of it because of the calamity of it, I feel like he would win. Somehow there would be like a comedy a part of it where all six of them would pin him.
I don't know.
Just cheap, just for the cheap pop for the crowd. That was my thinking. I'm thinking
Yeah,
promoter wise, cheap pop, cheap pop. Where did wrestling start for you then, AJ? Like you said, was it how many 20 odd years you've been wrestling?
So yeah, I mean, I've always been a wrestling fan, but in 1999, so it's over 20 years now. 1999, I was graduating high school, and a friend of mine was like, "Hey, you love wrestling?" Because we always had like wrestling parties at my house. Like I was the biggest wrestling fan in school. Like as a kid, everybody knew you come to my house for every pay-per-view. My dad would order food, and we went to live shows all the time. My dad always took us to live shows. So in 1999, a kid came up to me. His name was Nick Rollins. I'll never forget it. And he said, "You love wrestling. There's a wrestling school, and I want to go. I think you should go too. Like, you want to go?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah." So the first day, I bet there was like 15 of us that went. A whole gang of us in the neighborhood went. And the trainer was Rusty Brooks. Rusty Brooks was a jobber back in WWE in the day. He's wrestled Hogan, Macho Man, Andre. So we go to this school, all 15 of us, and by week 2, everyone quit but me and my brother. We were the only two who stayed. And then 2 weeks later, my brother got hit with an elbow in the head. He cut his head open. He's like, "I'm done with this," and I stayed. And I never left. I stayed in the business since then. So since 1999.
Wow, as someone that knows the bad side of the business, that there can be a lot of stress with it. It is still. I always hold like to everything I've got to now. Everything goes back to becoming a wrestler at 15. I was bullied before I became a wrestler, and I never said that. Doesn't mean I turned around and became a bully myself, but I learned how to conduct myself, that I wasn't easily in a victim anymore. You know, I knew how to put the character on. And DJing, I always use the phrase that when I'm DJing, it's not me, it's me with the volume up. It's the character. Everything is a character, because wrestling covers it all. It covers the fight inside of it. It comes to personality. It's a drama. It's a sport. It's everything. And yeah, I love it. And I know we could all probably carry on talking. I know Tony's probably got to get up early in the morning. AJ's probably got to have some dinner, maybe.
Yeah, it's almost 6 p.m. here. I'm gonna eat something and maybe get a workout in. We'll see. It's dark. It's already dark here, so
I'm hoping that you've enjoyed yourself enough to say that if we ask you again, you'll come back.
I will definitely come back on here for sure.
I think let's hopefully, if we can do this clever and we can do this soon enough, maybe you and Goonie Dad come do a thing and we can keep talking.
Yeah, we would love to. We've been doing a whole bunch of podcasts together lately, so yeah, we would definitely come on here together and knock.
I should have thought about that, to be fair, because you've done one earlier.
Well,
maybe
it's kind of late for him. You know, he's got to work tomorrow, so he was like, we did the other podcast, and I mentioned I was going on this one, and he's like, "Oh, that's late for you guys." But yeah, next time, if we know ahead of time, definitely he'll jump on. Because, yeah, we got cool stories, and hopefully by then we're tag teaming somewhere and wrestling, and we talked about some pretty cool gimmick stuff we want to do wrestling. That's like I said, on the verge of that comedy. Like, I have so many ideas because I was a promoter too. I ran shows for 3 years, and my brain is always just That's
I feel like between us, we could, like, between us lot. We've got Scott who on our team that does all video. We could make an international fed.
Listen, I've been thinking about it. I'm not kidding you.
Oh,
Thinking about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
An international fed, shows there, shows here, meet across, pay-per-views. You're doing one show on one night, we're doing one. Yeah.
I think about
With the
all
technology the way it is, we could do WrestleMania 2, but properly.
True.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like I've already got the name of this episode. It's either He Who Dares Wins or Shoot Your Shot. Right? So we'll come up with some ideas, and I'm gonna just send a couple of messages over the next couple of days to people I know
Cool.
that either run companies or, it may not be the Rev Pro or the Progress, but
No, I don't care. I just want to wrestle in
No.
the UK. I want to wrestle there, and like I said, the dream, the eventual goal is that me and Goody Dad tag, or even if we've even talked about promotions that he's not ready to wrestle yet, but to manage me because he's super entertaining. I would love to do that and bring a different aspect to whatever shows, like the comedy and the comedy mixture with the hard hitting and American wrestling. I don't know if it'll work there, but whatever. We'll try it.
I think it will, because again, we've been saying this whole time, like the aspect you've got is that, like, my head is anyone I know that is running a decent enough wrestling show, they'd be stupid not to utilize you because of the
Right.
following of people that don't like wrestling, plus the attachment to your name. Like you said, you walked through the airport, within 2 minutes somebody had stopped you.
Yeah.
Like, there's a selling factor. There's tickets behind your name.
Yeah, people ask me
Here.
every day. They're like, "When are you wrestling here?" I'm like, "I don't know." So
Right. So
Yeah.
I've got a couple of people I know I can reach out to.
That's it,
I'll
and
make
I
sure I
got
do.
I'm doing the donut thing here. I mean, imagine coming out to the ring with a box of Greg's donuts and shoving it in someone's mouth. Come on,
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
A nice Greg's sausage roll to the eye.
sausage roll, right? Oh yeah,
Yeah, pasty
Suplexing
attached
someone
to a
on
chair.
some- right? Suplex on some Weetabix. Boom, So
That actually hurt, especially dry.
Right. So yeah, but
Some
yeah, man, I'll
Milky
come
Way
on
magic
when you guys
stars sprinkled over the ring.
Right. Yeah, but we'll definitely jump on the podcast anytime you guys want, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Right. Honestly, this has been an absolute pleasure, and I honestly thank you for joining us, AJ.
Thank you.
For those of you that are watching, listening, however you're listening, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share, you know what to do. Leave your comments. Tell us where would you like to see AJ? If you're a fan of his over here, where do you want to see him wrestle? What companies are local to you? I'm Ryan. That's Tony. That's AJ. AJ, please, by all means, I'm pretty sure most people will have your social media, but where can they find you?
AJ Slambino on every single platform. It's the same name. AJ Slambino everywhere. Brandon,
Tony.
baby.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm Tony Abingus tonight. He's, again, everywhere.
And I'll follow you,
I'm-
Tony. Relax.
Oh, please! I swear to God, if AJ messages me in 10 minutes going, "I've blocked him," I will literally. That's going on my story. That'll be going on my story.
I will choke you out of a pack of Jaffa cakes, mate. I will do that.
I don't like Jaffa Cooks, so don't do that.
Okay, all right.
For me on social media, I'm at the DJ Ryan S. We are at Talk Dork Podcast. And don't forget, if you are a card collector, if you wrestling cards, Pokemon cards, any cards you collect, you can get 15% off at treefroggrading.com with the code TWD15. This is Talks with Dorks. I'm Ryan. That's Tony. That's AJ. Boys, please say your goodbyes.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
See you later.